If you're missing out on these critical steps, you are not doing what it takes to maximize your potential personal injury settlement.
My name is Eric Mauser. This is Tom Graham. We're personal injury lawyers in Miami, Florida. Thanks for stopping by our channel. On this channel, we talk about legal tips, issues, and various topics.
I would say, number one, you have to take it very seriously, right? It's like anything else in life. If you're gonna have a relationship or have a job or do a sport or a hobby, if you don't take it seriously, you're not gonna get the maximum result. And in terms of taking care of your health, it should be your priority, but so often people are busy and they don't. I think the number one thing you could do is really take it seriously, get to the right doctors, get there on time. We see this in oftentimes, especially in some of our older gentlemen or our male clients, they want to ignore things, right? Because they're the tough guy or they don't want to go to the doctor or it'll get better. Don't do that. Go right away, get your health checked out, take it seriously, find the right doctors, and then do what those doctors say.
Ignoring treatment, delaying treatment, not treating at all, inconsistent treatment, these are all bad things in a personal injury case. They're going to hurt your case, they're going to hurt the value. So if we're talking about building up value, you have to treat consistently, you have to treat with the right doctors. And just to back up a little bit, our clients are always injured. They always want to treat generally, but we give them advice on how the process works. If a client's not injured or healthy, good for them. They probably don't have a very valuable personal injury case.
But remember, just this week we were talking to a client, obviously we can't say his name, and he was in a smaller seeming auto collision, not a lot of damage to the car, and he thought it'd be okay. And do you remember talking to him? Kind of a tough guy, and this week he's saying, oh my God, my neck is horrible. And that wasn't an immediate thing for him. There was a little bit of a buildup, and now he's looking at serious medical care.
Right, and oftentimes neck and spine injuries can manifest days and weeks after the initial impact, even if it's a low impact.
Good point. I think also that leads us to number two. If you are going to need some serious treatment, let's say you do have a spine injury or an injury to your neck, and they're going to need to do a surgery, God forbid. If you settle your case before that happens, or before you know what you're really going to need when the doctor tells you, there's probably an inability in the future for you to ever get compensation for that. That door is going to be closed. And if you don't settle for compensation to get that surgery, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So along with doing the right thing and getting to the right doctors, I think you need to exercise a little bit of patience. Get with doctors you trust that can tell you this is what you're going to need, and then go through with it. So essentially, if you're going to need to conservatively treat, see how you're doing, do that. Assess with them, do I need a surgery? And if so, what type? And then make that important life decision.
It's important to be with the right treaters, doctors who write good reports, doctors that render really good medical advice and get you healthy, doctors that are also willing to participate in your case. Oftentimes there's doctors who want nothing to do with a lawsuit, right? That might not be the best doctor for you, but perhaps you could treat with him initially and then maybe consult with an expert for the purposes of your case.
That's a good point, and that brings us to number three. If it gets to a point where you need to speak to what we call an expert, then you're going to need a great team of attorneys and people that are going to guide you through that process. So the doctors that you're going to, those are not considered experts in the eyes of the law. What an expert means is that it is actually a specialist in a certain field that we'll go out and we'll hire. And we have great relationships with experts that do high level work, and it could be in medical, it could be in engineering, it could be an economist. And what we do is we team with the best in the nation on certain subject matters to make sure we can build your case as strong as possible. And that's something that if you aren't an attorney, you're not really going to understand and you're not going to do. And the expert practice is, for what I do, probably the most significant part of my day-to-day, and it's absolutely essential to a case's credibility and to building a strong case from the foundation.
Yeah, I think that's an important takeaway, especially for a layperson or a non-lawyer watching the video, is why do I need a personal injury lawyer when I get injured? And this is the reason. It's damages. The average person doesn't know what doctors, what treatment they need, what they should be doing for their case. And then, of course, the experts. The average person's not going to know how to retain an expert and wouldn't do it, under any circumstance, really, without hiring a lawyer.
I think also, number four, it is damages, but it's also liability. And how often do we get a call where a client will talk about something that happened, and maybe even they've talked to an attorney or two, right? And those attorneys have said, I'm sorry, I really can't help you. We do a little bit more digging, and we'll find something we can do for them. For instance, a case is coming to mind from the past where a client was in a horrible collision involving a truck, a semi-truck, really big truck. It was raining and the vehicle, it hydroplaned. So there was video from the truck and you could see it was a rainy day. The truck did nothing wrong, but you could see the vehicle just hydroplaned and smashed into this massive truck. And the client came to us and asked if there's a case. They had heard maybe there wasn't. I think most attorneys would see that video from the truck if they would even get it and say, I can't help you, wish you the best. But what we were able to do was actually go out to Copart where they were keeping the skeleton of their car that had just been ripped to shreds. We looked at the tires and we were able to tell that the tires that had been changed were put in the wrong location, which permitted the car to hydroplane. In fact, it caused the car to hydroplane. Had the tire work been done correctly, it wouldn't have happened. And that's an example, I think, of a case where if you don't have really skilled, really tenacious, really aggressive lawyers looking into the liability, you might miss a total angle, or you might think, I don't even have a case, when in reality, you have $1 million case.
Right, so before you can even get to damages, you've got to prove liability. That's the takeaway there, especially for someone who's watching this video. You have to prove liability, and then we make your case all about the damages, both the economics and the non-economics, which includes the pain and suffering, mental anguish, and other kinds of damages.
Exactly. And as to number 5, proving liability, when we started this conversation, I had said, if you're going to have a personal injury case, you really need to take it seriously and care about it. And part of proving liability from the client's standpoint is also doing those things that show you care and taking those steps. So from the outset, what is helpful to us, save your text messages if you have them about the incident. If there's people that could help you as witnesses, try to get their contact information. Take photos, take video, get the names of managers, make an incident report, go through the due diligence to take those extra steps so that you can set a foundation to prove liability and get us some more ammunition. Oftentimes when people are hurt, and this makes sense, they're hurt, they're embarrassed, they want to get out of there. Or maybe they're so hurt that they're taken away by an ambulance and there's nothing they can do, right? But if you get involved with attorneys early on, we're going to have a better chance of securing that evidence, securing those witnesses that otherwise might be gone forever. So take it seriously. Remember those 5 steps. If you're in a personal injury incident, we can help, but you got to do your part, and we're confident you will.
And bonus tip, if you're handling your personal injury case on your own, the defense or the insurance carrier is not going to fully value your case properly. They're going to ignore the real value of your lost wages, pain and suffering, and other kinds of damages that you may be experiencing from your case.
Thank you for listening. If you liked this video, please follow us, follow our YouTube account, look us up on social media. We love this stuff. We're happy to chat about it. I'm Tom, this is Eric, and we're Mauser and Graham Injury Law.